Good morning, everybody. Good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are. Some people very early morning. It's been an interesting week. We've got a pretty bullish looking candle happening on the U.S. dollar right now. I'm not sure if well, let's just say you guys are looking at the charts with me now. Let me see. Is this just the last minute or so? We've got a lot to talk about here today. We're going to go through prop trading rules, what they are, and really, kind of some of the things that I do to manage them myself. And really, we're going to look at some charts also, obviously. We're going to talk trading. But if you're already in here, I want to make sure that the audio works and that the video is working. I know that we are 10 minutes early right now. So I will, let me see where I can actually even look at that stuff. I have to log in. That's an excellent trick there. Did it. Cool. I think that was fun. Let me get back over to perfect. It's been a very interesting week so far. We had Powell come out yesterday and do what everybody expected him to do. More or less came out and told everybody that we're not going to lower rates. It's not going to happen in March when BTFP ends. But there's definitely been a response from the market, and right now it's looking pretty bullish just while we're looking at this US dollar here. That gap up there is serious. We might close that today. So there might be some, gap chase money against the dollar here. But bull dollar does mean often that we might be looking at a bearish S&P, and same thing goes for the NASDAQ. And we should be looking at pretty big booms on the USD JPY also. Now, let me close some stuff out here. I got too many. Spotify doesn't need to be on right now. But there's a lot going on. Let's look at the USD JPY. Let's take a quick Terry gander before people start to file in here, show up. We're just going to have some fun and look at stuff. We are going to go through prop trading, rules, what I do to, kind of stay away from breaking them. And that's kind of the whole point. You want to live to trade another day because, not every day is going to be big volatility. I was waiting on that Aussie CAD trade to take place for, I don't know how many weeks. I want to say 4, but it finally hit yesterday. It was very low stress. It wasn't like it was a massive windfall by any means. I don't really go heavy on anything, but if you guys want to see something in particular on the screen here, it would be a really neat way for us to do a sound check because there is a delay. Good morning, Uche. How are you? It does seem like you guys can hear me, though. And we're just going to be looking at a couple charts here while we're waiting. It does look like the USD JPY has been pretty bullish for a while. This is a weekly chart where I'm on right now. And that's pretty definitive up. But we are maybe at a high price, maybe not. This has already kind of tested our extension level above here. So, it wouldn't be surprising for this to be our wave if we're still bullish. And they haven't raised rates in Japan. They don't have to. They have less than 2% inflation right now. So Japan is very much, in my opinion, not in a position that they can raise rates. And they're, the cheap money capital of the world. So demand is, let's just say it's hard to get away from. I mean, they are, like I live by the beach here and it's been a going out of business sale at every beach store in Cocoa Beach since I was born. And, I feel like Japan's been doing that with negative interest rates for the last 7 years. Everything must go. And it, for some reason hasn't really worked to devalue the yen until you go back to, 2020 over here. But it's finally happening. And I think that they want it to. I mean, this does look like it could be a double top. We are at a level of support right now, though. So I'm long here and I'm going to stay that way. I think this USD JPY is going to be, I think we might see some levels that we haven't seen yet here. Let's see, USD CHF. And if you guys have something in particular, like a question about, please make the chart bigger instead of your nice face, we can do that. That's entirely possible. Let's see. It does kind of blow the cover on what we're supposed to be doing in here. But we can do that. 1 second here. Let me I know I've got a screen for that. No, this one. That one. Is that what you wanted right there? That seems like we hit pay dirt. But yeah, the charts are bigger now. And we are going to have to we got 5 minutes to save the world. So I think this is going to be a big opportunity on this dollar Swiss. I've been showing a lot of stuff about foreign assets and how much foreign currency the Swiss actually sit on, which, you know, they got busted by the IRS years ago, and then they started doing it a lot more than they were before, which I think is awesome. Getting busted by the IRS is apparently a fantastic marketing ploy. But really, this one's been in a range for a long time, and I think it might stay in it for a while longer, because I think it's I don't know, dare I say, the largest pump and dump scheme outside of maybe Bitcoin. Oh man, I hope I ruffled some feathers with that one. If you have an opinion there, then share it. But I do think that that Bitcoin has been pump and dumped more than anything else in the history of pump and dumps. Maybe, I mean, just based on the wave of the moves, it's been a long time for the S&P to make moves like that. But I do think there's a nice target up here, you know, of prices that people like to pay, and they were comfortable doing it for a long time, all the way up here in the low 90s. You know, if we go back, you know, there's lots of support and resistance in this area here. And that's really where I think this could go. And this could be one of the bigger opportunities of the year, I think, which we're at a nice low. If that's the case, we got a nice bull candle. We've got, you know, Powell doing the peacock. So, you know, it's really wouldn't be crazy for us to come up here and test this pocket, test this M, whatever you want to call it. There's a million ways from Sunday that people might look at this and want to trade it. But this confirmation hasn't really happened on the high time frame yet. But by the time that happens, you probably missed most of it. So I'm more of a range guy in this scenario, just because it has been it's been sideways for my entire trading career. I was in college before the last time this trended. So I will remain a range guy on this pair. But I think gold is another fun one to watch. I'm pretty, you know, let's just say, full disclosure, I'm very interested in gold going up for a lot of reasons. I'm pretty heavy on this one with my own personal investments. Not that I'm giving you any advice to do that at all. I certainly am not doing that. You do what you want. But we're going to draw stuff on charts here. And we'll just look at this. I think there's been finally some volatility this month. It's been really boring. I'm up by like 1%, I think, right now, which is really just, I don't know, not what I wanted. But you know, in a 25K account, that's almost making the initial investment back. But at that rate, but let's just say I'm not happy with that. What signs to confirm readiness of USD CHF, please? Really, I think we're already there. As far as the dollar Swiss goes, I think we're already there. What I would maybe pay attention to is the Swiss foreign currency reserves is a good one to watch. And other than that, just if the Fed remains hawkish and they're talking about raising interest rates, then fundamentally speaking, you know, we're talking about, well, there's no reason to think that we're going to lower rates yet. They haven't told you that we need to lower rates yet. Unemployment's still under 4%. I would say that's probably the biggest one I'd look for on the dollar Swiss. Because as long as we're under 4%, I'm bullish, because the Swiss are deflationary. And if the Swiss are deflationary, that means that they're not raising rates, and they might have to lower their rates before we do. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out, but I'm bullish already. We can go back over there in a second after we take a quick Terry gander at gold. I think people probably want to get closer than the last several years of this giant, awesome rising wedge that we actually broke out of with this fresh high. You can't tell because my line's too thick on this chart, but let's come down to the day. You can on the day chart. And really, this is just gearing up. I think this could be much bigger. I was expecting this to get back under 2,000. We got close. We got to 2005 or 6 or something, which really kind of tells me it's even more bullish than I thought it was already, because we're already getting this fresh high here. And really, our new trend is here. You know, this is probably the easiest way to see that. This is our new trend line here. We got a little bit of a channel here. If I don't click too high, we can actually have that on the chart. But this is really what I'm paying attention to. So it doesn't necessarily mean that it goes straight up. It could come down. All this area in here is still in play. I don't think the area outside of that channel is really in play anymore. I think, well, it seems like we're trying to go to war with everybody right now, which is, oddly enough, kind of bullish for the dollar and commodities at the same time, which at least it seems to be playing out that way. But we'll have to come back to some charts in a few minutes. We're going to get to the Q&A, truth about prop firms here in just a second. And if you guys do have any questions, how do I reach you? Haven't received any response from my emails about my account. Send an email to social@tradehousefunds.com, and I'll put that in the chat. Here you go. And that'll come to me. It'll come to multiple people. So you can get, help quicker. But there's also live support. So if you call in, then you can speak to a human. What kind of help do you actually need? I can probably give you a little bit of direction right now if you need that, David. I know there's a little bit of a delay, so I'm gonna go ahead and get things started here. I think we'll go through. I've got oil. I'm gonna go through some trading stuff here later. But by and large, I want to make sure everybody understands what the rules are, because I've been trading my own money for a long time. And let's just say there's no rules. The rules are what I make them. And that's why a lot of people, blow out in their accounts, in my opinion. And really just in my experience of watching people. But we're going to go through some of the do's and don'ts and what the rules are in here today. This is going to be a little bit, let's just say this is going to be educational. So I hope you're ready. I'll read everything out loud so you don't actually have to read. Although I think it's impossible to look at words without reading them. But your brain may be different than every other human on earth. Yeah, go ahead and send the email now, David. You might be able to get help before we're even done here. But yeah, let's go ahead and get over to, how do I do this? We'll go back to the intro screen, I guess. Not that one, this one. And got to unwind, figure out how to get this going. But we're going to talk about, well, I guess you guys have already seen my face. But let's go ahead and make this full screen. Boom. And I want the whole world in my hands. Let's make this bigger. Maybe just that one. There we go. Perfect. This is what I looked like when I got into trading. I had slightly thicker hair. And generally speaking, just to give you guys this is the only slide about me. Okay. I've been doing this for 10 years, working with people to learn how to trade, trading software, designing robots. I've worked with thousands of traders, one-on-one, in groups, in person, online like this, a million different ways from Sunday that I've worked with people trading. And I've met some really amazing traders over that period of time and some really awful ones. And honestly, I've learned just as much from the awful traders as I have from the good ones. And honestly, it's easier to find things to work on when you talk to an awful trader because they'll uncover what not to do very quickly for you. And we're going to talk about that. I'm a big fundamentals guy. If you guys showed up early, then you already listened to me talk about the Swiss and gold and a bunch of other stuff before we got started. We'll talk about some more trading after this. If you have a burning desire to talk about a particular symbol, we may have enough time to break it down once we get done here. But really, I've been doing this a long time. Fundamentals, I don't use to pick direction as much as I do to choose what I want to trade, because I don't want to trade stuff that doesn't move, because that's a big fat waste of my time. And yours too, if you're doing that. There's nothing worse than holding a stock for 10 years that does nothing. You might as well have had it doing anything but that. You should have spent it on a bike. It would have been more worth it. But I do that every week. We're going to have more live trading demo stuff here soon. Technology-wise, it's a lot to set up things. But just to give you guys an idea, everything in here will be for educational purpose. Charts I show, all the rules we talk about, everything like that. I can't guarantee income. There's no such thing as a guaranteed trade or investment. It simply doesn't exist. If somebody's telling you something like that, then you should probably be a little suspicious. But otherwise, we're looking for more traders. We want more good traders that are okay trading small in a 5 to 6 figure trading account. And if you're okay trading small in a 5 to 6 figure trading account, then you might be a good fit for us. A lot of people, it depends on what situation that you're in. You might be in the situation where you don't have enough capital to trade that big, or you have that much capital and you don't want to risk it. Okay, so we can help you limit your overall risk by helping you follow the rules and taking a challenge with us. Some of you, I'm not sure. Well, really, I don't know how much experience anybody in here has, and I want to make sure that I give all the message I can. Don't be shy. If you could, just type in the chat box, give me an idea, scale from 1 to 10. How much trading experience do you have? 1 being, Michael Jordan, the Leo Messi of trading. 10 being, the worst ever or brand new, one or the other. 5 obviously somewhere in the middle of that. But if you could give me a quick idea of where you guys stand, then I would love to help you guys get to the top of the mountain, figure out how you can actually make some money, because nobody looks at trading stuff to not make money. I mean, there's really no reason to do this. Thank you for that, Herb. But I want to talk about what it takes to be a successful prop trader, and the reason why prop trading is important, and what problem that it actually solves, why you want to work with us. Thank you guys for sharing. So a lot of 5, 6, 7. We got some experience in this room today. Love it. Love it. 3 years. Love it. So then obviously none of you have ever lost a trade before. Is that a fair statement? Not anymore, at least, right? Let's keep on moving. But key ideas, okay? Trading with us, the symbols that are available, really awesome. You can trade whatever you want. Pretty amazing. So you can also trade in both directions. If you want to go long or short on the S&P 500 or the NASDAQ, then you can. You can do it as many times a day. There's no pattern day trading rules. Matter of fact, I hope you are an awesome pattern day trader. Yes, I am joking you, Uche. Hey, this is supposed to be fun, okay? I woke up alive today. I don't know about the rest of you guys, but, I want to make sure that you guys know this is the most awesome place to trade that I have ever traded. I've never been able to do all this stuff in one place. Oil, gold, indices, Bitcoin, all this stuff in one place. I'm a pattern day trader myself, so I love that there's a playground for people like me. And, this, you can trade for a minute, 5 minutes, an hour, a day, 3 days, a week, doesn't matter. You can hold over the weekend, whatever you want. Okay. So really my kind of game, and the liquidity is huge. If you have a question about this, if you're new, if you want more personal support, you can call. We have humans that you can speak to. And it's just product support. We also, if you send an email to social@tradehousefunds.com, that'll come to me. That'll also come to the rest of the team. And you can very much ask whatever question you want about how our service works and how you can get funded and how you can end up trading, a $250,000 account with us, for example. And I'm going to talk about what it takes and what prop trading is. Those of you that are brand new, it doesn't seem like there's a ton of those people in here. It seems like we got some real experience in here today. But prop trading is, an opportunity that if traders pass an audition, also called a challenge, then they're given access to trade large capital of a financial firm. In this case, us, Trade House Funds. And the main reason, I've been in trading education for a long time, and the main reason I think most people fail is because they want a livable income with their trading income. How many of you in this room want a livable income from their trading? And you don't want to have to worry about other stuff. Maybe this is your martingale allowed. Yeah, absolutely. And you can kind of trade anything you want. You can trade robots in there if you want. But the reality is that we share up to 90%. Okay. So there are rules, I want to make jokes, this is a non-smoky. There are rules. I don't know if you, how many of you out there are a fan of the Big Lebowski, but yeah, generally this is a 3%. Okay. So just imagine, if you're planning on trading a $3,000 account or a $5,000 or $10,000 or whatever. Okay. So $10,000. So if you took 10,000 out and you put it in a trading account and you make 3% in a month. Okay. How much is that? 3% of 10,000. Does anybody know the answer to that question? Is it a livable wage? I don't think so. Is that, what is that? $300 on $10,000? Okay. At 3%. So really the whole point is that you don't want to have to get more aggressive. Okay. So getting more aggressive is not the way to making the money that you want. It's slow and steady wins the race. And the best traders on earth are getting, 3%, 2%, 4%. That's a good month. And they're allowed to lose in their account. That's what this is all about. And I'm going to show you how much they're allowed to lose, but this is really what it's about. And this is, I think, a modest, achievable amount. 2% a month is better than what the S&P does 9 years out of 10. That's 26% annualized at 2%. So 3% is obviously better, but I'm trying to keep these real. But here are the reasons why you trade with us. Okay. So we can limit your trading risk, not to that $10,000 that I talked about, but to whatever you buy your challenge for. Okay. And challenges are not that expensive. Let's just say we don't have any of them that cost $10,000 and you can trade with up to $250,000. This is an incredible opportunity. You get to keep up to 90% of the profit. I'm going to make the rules as clear as I can for you here today. So if you have questions, don't be shy. Let's talk. Like I said, you can trade both directions. This is my favorite part about this whole experience. And you can trade FX pairs, indices, commodities, cryptos, pretty much anything you want, which, let's just say, makes me a happy boy because I love to trade and I love to trade all this stuff. And doing it all in one spot, both directions, is amazing. And it's not as complicated, in my opinion at least, as buying something like an option, okay? Because everything is based really in lots. So that means that, if I have 20 to 1 leverage and the standard's 10, and I'll get back to that in a second, but leverage is buying power. So this means that I don't have to have as much money to take as large of a position, is really what this boils down to. So one micro lot is a 0.01. Okay, that's a 0.01 standard lot. And that's going to be basically $1,000 of whatever it is that you're trading. Okay, mini lot is a 0.1, standard lot is a 1. Okay, so $100,000 position. Okay, so we're going to get more into this as we go. Those of you that are new, I know that we got a pretty experienced, group in here today. So you guys probably know what this is, but essentially things are traded in lots. Okay, and it's, really kind of a future style spot market trading is really what I would say. But there's no expiry date. So there's no, ending up with several barrels and truckloads of coffee at your house anytime soon. Time requirements. Okay, we do have a time requirement. You don't have to have a time requirement. It can be up to unlimited time. Most people do the unlimited time option. Default is 60 days. So you can go and you can set yourself up for unlimited. That's the way I like to live. I like to live full blast, as much time as I want, whatever I need. But that's up to you. We have it set at 60 days primarily because we don't want people sitting on our money doing nothing with it. And that's kind of what this is all about. We want to make some money and we're looking for active traders that, are willing to trade small in a big account. Slow and steady wins the race. Maximum risk requirements. This is how much money you're allowed to lose. Okay. This isn't your money. This is money that you're allowed to lose in the account. In a $25,000 account, you can lose up to $1,500. Okay. So as soon as you get to $1,500, you're cut off. And, just think about this from our perspective. If you gave me $25,000 and I lose $1,500 of it at any point in time, and I get down to, 23.5, do you want to take the account away from me or what are you going to do? Let's be logical about this. You're going to take it away from me. Okay. So we have the same kind of rules. There's no smoke and mirrors. I'm going to show you all of this stuff. These rules are real. And the opportunity to make money trading live accounts this big, also real. Okay. So 6% at any time, you can't go down. That's really what the maximum risk is. And really that comes down to your ability to trade well and not trade too big. Okay. Maximum risk requirements. This is more along for the too big. Okay. So there is a daily max. And I learned this lesson the hard way. I didn't even know this was a thing. Because I sit and I run a drawdown most of the time because I position trade and I take off positions when they get into the positive, and I just continually do that. And I might sit on a position for a month, like I just did with the Aussie CAD, and that one finally paid out this morning. Okay, so I've been waiting for a month for that to happen, and I think I entered into it 5 times. But at any given time, you don't want to end up too heavy. Okay, so I do that small. As per the size of the account that I'm trading, but you can't lose 5% in a day. If you lose $1,250 out of $25,000 in a day, then you're done. Your account's done. You lose. That's how life works. Okay. And you would do the same if I was trading your money. That's what that rule is. I'm saying all these things because I want you to remember. I want you to keep this clear in your brain. And I want you guys to just know what this game is. Okay. I want you to win. Okay. Maximum exposure. Okay. This is another fun topic. This is how much money do I have out in the wind at any given time? And 2.5 lots. For those of you that remember, does anybody remember how much one standard lot is? Okay, what size position is that in a $25,000 account that you're allowed to have? What's the maximum position? And actually, this could be all of your positions. And this is just open at once, 2.5 lots. Does anybody know what that math works out? I know that I keep asking this, but there's a delay on the... I'm just going to tell you the answer at this point. And I know it'll probably pop up on the chat, but $250,000. Okay, so that's a big position. That's your maximum. Okay, so realistically speaking, do you need to trade that big to get your money back on an account that's, less than $300 to get a challenge for? Probably not. Okay, that's really just my opinion. My experience is probably better you don't. You gain 10%, you pass. And like I said, you can have up to unlimited time, default to 60 days. Once you get 10%, well, you put in your KYC verification, know your customer details for the broker so they know that you're a human, they know where you live. And really that's going to come down to wherever your bank account lives, because where you live doesn't matter. It's really kind of where your bank sends you mail. It's kind of what they're going to want to know. And they're going to need, I think your state driver's license is always a good one. Depends what country you're in. But otherwise we move you up to the live account of the equal value of your challenge. Payouts, withdrawals, all that stuff happens with a company called Rise. And you can do that up to every 2 weeks. So just like a normal job, you could have a new income every 2 weeks when you want to take money out of your account. So you get to keep up to 90% of the profits. The default is 75%. So no matter how you do it, you still get to keep the bulk of the profits. It is our money that we're talking about trading right now. So, I wish this would have existed 5 years ago. I don't even know if I would be here talking to you about it at this point. But reality, 90%, you're talking $1,800 out of a $2,000 profit. If you make $20,000, you get to keep $18,000 of it. Okay, so obviously it's going to be easier to make something like $20,000 in a $250,000 account. I'd say the 100K is probably the most popular thing to trade. If you've never done this before, the beginner account is usually, we call it the beginner at least, the training wheels would be the 25K account, which is not a bad place to be. Weekly live market analysis, we're going to help with that also. I want to help find fast movers. That's what I like to trade. I like to trade stuff that moves. Okay, so I'm going to put out trading ideas. If you go to our website right now and join our newsletter, you're going to get videos from me and updates, bullish, bearish, on every economic calendar activity that happens all week and next week, every week. I put out a pretty thorough economic analysis, and that's how I'm able to come in and figure out what I want to trade. And if you want that type of information, go to our tradehousefunds.com, scroll down to the bottom, join the newsletter, or you can find us on Facebook or on Discord or obviously here on YouTube, and we're all over the place. But we're going to go through a lot of this stuff, live recorded stuff. There's going to be education that I'll provide also, how to use the platform. You can track your results in the back office. You don't have to, some of you that have been around a long time might have MyFX books. This is kind of the same idea. The only difference is it's in our platform, so you can see it. It's basically a MyFX book plus the rules. So these lines that are up here, if you get close to one, then you, if you breach the ones on the bottom, then you lose. If you hit the green one on the top, then you win, and that's how it works. But you can follow your win-loss record, all that stuff in here, and manage that at your own will. How much money can successful people make? And the reality is the numbers are higher than this, in my opinion. This is modest. I think this is something that I would say is more of a realistic style outlook, just based on my own experience. 3% is an achievable return. Okay, I've doubled an account in a month before. I've also blown one out in a month. And I'm sure those of you that are experienced in here, no one has done that but me. Just kidding. All of you have probably done that. But reality is, these numbers aren't crazy. And that $250,000 account is less than $3,000 to set up. Okay, so I've got especially since I got a discount that I got extended for today. If you guys are looking for that, because they did a 40% off yesterday, and I think it got delayed on the YouTube ad or something. I don't know what happened with it, but either way, they let me extend it to today. So there's a 40% off that I'm going to be able to share with you guys if you guys are interested in getting 40% off of your challenge. But it's a pretty big savings, especially if you're getting the bigger accounts. But if you want to get set up, I'll show you guys how this works real quick. I'm just going to pull this up and show it to you. And then once I get done showing you guys this, we can go ahead and look at some charts. You guys can ask some questions if you want. But really, that's it. You really just can't lose all of our money at like no 5% in a day and no 6% overall. The max exposure is 2.5 lots. But this is our website. And let me pull over the, let's just make this a regular screen share. But yeah, this is what it looks like. And not a crazy complicated deal here. You click on trader login is where you go when you want to look at your stuff and go to your back office. Start trading will take you just to right here, a little bit lower on the page. The most popular, like I said, is the 100K. I think just because demo accounts are usually that way, but 40% is a big deal. I don't know if you guys are seeing these prices. This is one time. It's not a subscription. Okay. So 40% is a huge discount. So if you guys are looking to do this kind of thing, then now is the time. I haven't seen say 40% is about as big as it gets. I think this is probably what they did on like Black Friday, but it's cut 40, CUT 40. And I'll show that to you guys once we get to the end. But if you click on this 100,000, it's going to pull up all this stuff. This page will tell you all the same rules that I just went through with you also. And really in this account, it's going to tell you you need a $10,000 gain, for example, 10%. You can trade over the weekends and hold over the weekend. 60 days is the default, and it's $850 if you want to just go ahead and do it at the, how it is price. If you want no stop loss, you can add on. It's a 10% add. So basically the 40% off, you can get all these add-ons for free. The Unlock All bundle. So basically free add-ons. And you can get all of these things, which is a massive upgrade. And all that stuff you select on the Purchase Now page. You just fill in your stuff and do it that way. But if anybody does have any questions about this, then now is the time. Let me get the questions window actually open enough so I can see what's going on it. Can you run 2 challenges with 2 different strategies at the same time? The answer is yes, you can. They just can't be linked with an EA. And actually, that would be the same strategy anyway. So 2 different strategies, yeah. Is HFT allowed for the phase? What is HFT? Let me get back over to the page so I can actually see. Let me close this here. Hold on. And maybe I just switched to something else. Let's hold on. Let's just go back to the charts. Let's have more fun on the charts, and let's do the cool. At least I gotta at least leave the website up while we go through and look at stuff and I answer questions. Let me make this window bigger so I can actually see what we're looking at. Oh, high frequency trading. I'm not sure exactly how you mean high frequency trading. If you're talking about an automated robot that's level 2 trading, that might be a little bit more complicated. I'm not really sure. I'd have to ask our not liquidity provider, or basically our security provider. But if you can, send me an email about that. I'm not really 100% sure. We can meet and talk about it too if you want. But high frequency could mean a lot of things. So if you're talking about level 2 and you're going in and pushing a bunch of those levels, I'm not sure. I'd have to really kind of double check on that. But I'm certainly more than happy to find out. But yeah, Rick, I think you already have a live account going. But if you want to open another one, you can. If I remember correctly. I think you had 100K. If you were here last week, I think I remember. But yeah, let's go ahead and take a look at the dollar Swiss. I think somebody wanted me to bring this back up. I'm not sure who earlier asked me for this, but we're gonna deliver. And while I'm doing this, if you guys have questions about setting up the prop account, like I said, there is a 40% right now. Cut 40. is the promo. And it's basically you can get all of the upgrade bundle for free is basically what that works out to. So my opinion, definitely an awesome time to do it. I have an account. Like I said, I'm up like 1% this month. It's been a very disappointing month until really today. I haven't looked at my charts. Well, I haven't looked at my account yet today. My 401k I've been very pleased with. We had a blackout period, and I think I made like 10. I made more money in the blackout period for my 401k because it moved from, I don't remember what we had, Voya to like ADP or something like that. I think it hadn't moved that much all year. It was incredible. I guess it's only February 1st. But yeah, this is the dollar Swiss, and I think this one's probably the biggest one I'm watching right now because I think this is a really sexy low. And reality, if you want to be a responsible person, anything underneath here, I probably want to stay away from. This previous low from when they unpegged from the Swiss franc, or when the franc unpegged from the euro 10 years ago. That low is, I think, further than you want to go. But I think a place where we get a lot of support, and I'm aimed right at the meat of this. That's really all this is. I'm aimed right at the meat, and that's what I think is coming next. And, well, everything goes towards the mean is what I was told when I was young. So this is what I'm looking at here. But from a signal perspective, I think if you want to go down to the lower time frame and look for a technical, here's a reason why I might trade this up now type of thing, which I think was really the question. This inner line here, and there's another one inside that already broke. So really, if we close above here, honestly, we're already there. I'm already in confirmation mode because this is a counter trend that we're looking at. Anyways, this downstroke, and we're backside right now. This is, I think, it's the time. I think right now is the time. It's already done what I wanted it to do, and we've got a big hammer candle underneath here. So I'm in on it. And I have been for a long time, but we are, I think I showed you guys all of what you guys needed to see today. I do want to make sure everybody knows that we did a massive discount today. And I guess those of you that are new to this game, maybe the 100K is not for you. Maybe it is. I don't know. Kind of depends on you, but this is by no means a guarantee. This is just what 3% at 90% cut rate works. Okay. So it works out pretty favorably, I think. I would say that one's probably the most popular, and 100K, I think I just showed you guys, is under $1,000 to purchase. So you don't even need to get 3% to make your money back on a monthly basis. But I had the discount on here. And those of you that are looking to get started trading with us, then send me a message if you have questions, or just go to the website and get started. I did show some of that in here today. If you guys have any more questions, then let me know. Otherwise, I think we are out of here for today. I know that most people can only pay attention to something for 20 minutes, and I feel like I've been talking for almost 45 now. But thanks again, everybody, for joining. I'm Will Bridges from your team at Trade House Funds. Enjoy the rest of your week and be good or be good at it. Take care.